So I guess I'll go through everything. So basically, I started with Nightwalker,
Mm-hmm.
and then I enjoyed Nightwalker, but getting the 200 was a real challenge. And then fifth job was really cool, but again, like their mobbing is kind of on the really terrible side. Like their fifth job's pretty good, like for mobbing, but
Mm-hmm.
in general, like Shadow Spark is kind of like cringe to use. Like in my soul, whenever I use it, it like hurts my. So I try to just
Okay.
like not use it because it's because it just feels really slow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So after that, more recently, I've been playing my Shadower and my Bowmaster, which are
Mm-hmm.
those two, like my top three characters, and
Yep.
basically my top four characters. That's like I had a kind of a question about time splitting, but on a
Mm-hmm.
day-to-day basis, I'm mostly just doing dailies, trying to get my Superior Golix gear, trying to get my Princess No Ring that I still haven't got the job yet, trying to get my Guardian Slime Ring,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. And I've also started recently doing Lucid parties,
Okay.
normal Lucid, so I'm starting to kind of get a couple pieces or try to start building my
Yeah.
Arcane. I haven't gotten anything yet, but I'm
Start
kind of
thinking
on
of
my way.
trying to build to maybe get pieces to, yeah. A lot of steps to get
Exactly.
from A to B, yeah. Okay.
Yep,
But
so
that's
that's what
going
I'm
well.
doing
You're
now.
finding a party okay. You got like a guild with like guild skills and stuff.
Yep, I
Okay.
probably should have taken a picture. Yeah, I have pretty good leveled guild skills.
Okay.
I'm in Phoenix. I don't know if you know the guild, but yeah, they're
I
super
think I've
active.
seen them before, yeah. I mean, there's a lot
Yeah,
of them
everything's
out
good
there.
with that.
When you think you're doing very well, you're like rank 40, so there's like so many guilds out there.
It's true. Yeah, in terms of finding parties, it's usually pretty easy. It's sort of harder to find parties within my range.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of sometimes sometimes people smega for like 20k
Mm-hmm.
lucids, so those are the kind of the ones that I mostly go towards. Because I don't know if I should be going into the 25ks because I'm still not there yet, but you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, there's people wanting those super fast runs, but you feel a little bit bad if
Exactly.
you're like lying about your application on your job application, right?
Exactly. I feel
Okay,
like in the
okay.
grand scheme of things, like most people are still like a lot of them are probably above that, but and some of them are like a little bit below, so it's probably like
Mm-hmm.
averages out, but
Yeah.
I'm still like kind of substantially below that. So that's why I kind of try not to usually.
Sure, sure. Yeah, and depending on your setup, you might be a little bit more supporty. So then, if you're lower on the stat, it's not as important. As long as you've got
That's
that,
true.
yeah. As long as you bring that burst. Imagine still most of those parties have kanas in them. So as long as you can bring that 3-minute thunder, then it should work out.
Exactly. And then sometimes we have bishops too, which is super helpful.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then yeah, you definitely cannot die to anything then at that point, right? A
Exactly.
phantom plus a bishop. It's like
Except
you have to
Nightmare.
really try to die.
It's true.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm kind of a Legion gamer
Mm-hmm.
a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's good.
So
Like, if you're
yeah,
maining a character, but you're finding that it's just not quite your fit, the sooner you get out, the sooner you can start finding what is really fun. If you stick too long, you get that, that sunk cost as well, where you're like, it becomes harder to transition out because you'll have to just restart from so much further away. It feels like you're leaving so much more behind. So, yeah, around the
yeah, I kind
230
of did
mark.
that on my Nightwalker kind
Mm-hmm.
of a lot. So before I was using during the Kana, I mean, when Kanas were good, I guess you could say,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, when Kishin was a thing.
Yeah.
So I put like pretty much all my resources into my Nightwalker. So
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really like a big Star Force person, but like I got everything. Like I got my Superior Golux. I got like all the things that I need for kind of like the
Mm-hmm.
early mid-ish game. But what I didn't focus on was nodes in Star Force. So like my Nightwalker is still super weak, even though
Mm,
my Nightwalker should be the strongest character on my account, given how much time I played.
I see.
But yeah, I still didn't understand most of the game mechanics a long time ago, so it's kind of makes sense why my Nightwalker is kind of weaker
You're talking
a little
about more
bit.
like the meta, like on like where to distribute resources and where does damage really come from, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't understand. Like that I should be focusing on my fifth job skills and not always just my tri nodes, because you kind of just level those up as you go along, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can
Mm-hmm.
the fifth job skills seem to be more important, which I didn't really understand. Or I don't know if I didn't understand, but I didn't really focus on that until recently.
Yeah, it depends, right? Like if you're very, very burst heavy, then it'll be important to have them high level. Or if they're very short cooldown, then it's also important. But for most classes, it's a little bit in between, and they're just having them is already what is the bulk of your damage, and then the tries are a bit more important. But every class has like one skill that, or almost every single class has at least one skill where it's like the duration goes up or the cooldown goes down or maybe both. and then those are very, very high priorities to enable to, tap into your potential when it comes to mobbing and bossing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think ace in the hole for me is that skill. The one that's low cooldown and extremely high damage. Like it does more damage than like any of my other skills pretty much, other than the skill that does like the rapid card throw. That's a 3-minute cooldown skill though.
Yeah, that's
So it's not like, I can't spam it. But it
iframe
does
at the
insane
end, right?
damage. Yes. I think I don't know if it's an iframe. It seems like it's damage mitigation from what I've seen.
Okay, that's
Because I use it on Golux and like I still get slapped. I don't die though, so but I do take substantial damage.
Okay.
I still take like at least like 70 or 60% damage, but I survive though, so that's good.
That's always surviving is always nice.
That's the thing that's important.
Yeah. Sometimes whether it's with 1% left or with 40% left, as long as you're living, then live to fight another day kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So are there any like hard press topics? So you're talking about like time and resource management between your characters. Is that a thing that you kind of want to talk about?
Yeah, definitely. So mostly my characters have, my Shadow and my Bowmaster both have full superior, which my Bowmaster is just way more lucky and Shadower than my Phantom is. But basically, I think my Shadower is okay for now in terms of what I want from my Shadower in terms of bossing on a weekly basis, because that's mostly what I'm using my Shadower for, and then farming, which I kind of got my Meso gear. I'm not really sure if I should be using another character other than my main to be farming on, but that's kind of my character that has all my farming gear. And then for my Bowmaster, mostly what I was wondering about is, since I'm doing solo progress, I'm going to be sticking on Apps Lab for a long time. So I'm kind of wondering how I should be splitting my resources for these Star Force events, because I know my Phantom I'm currently using a lot of transition gear. When we get to my gear, you'll kind of see like a lot of my stuff is kind of not fully invested because I'm kind of not sure how far I want to go with it.
Sure.
Like I could probably have better lines, especially on like my accessories and stuff. Like there's things that aren't unique yet. A lot of it's drop gear, because it happened to be reinforced and I happen to get the lines. And then my greed pendant is just it's just the saddest thing I've ever seen. I can't bring myself to reroll it. So
yeah, I get that.
It would just tank my damage. So basically, I'm kind of in that state, so I'm not really sure how I want to proceed with the Star Force event, because I know I don't have my superior yet, except for that belt. So I'm kind of in a weird spot, and I know that my Bowmaster is going to need... I'm planning to burn my Bowmaster for the Ignition update to 250, because I figure if I'm trying to do solo progress, being 250 is probably like going to be half the battle in terms of just getting symbols, getting stronger fast, because I don't do dailies on my Bowmaster from day-to-day basis. So once I start, I want to be able to just do everything and start making like big moves.
Okay, I see.
And then for Star Force, I don't have a lot of Star Force on this guy, and I also don't have a lot on my Bowmaster right now. So I'm thinking I'm going to need... I think I have 11 bill right now saved up. But I haven't done weekly bosses, so I have 4 boss mules, those 4 basically on the screen. So they can...
Can I make like 1.5 each? So like 6? Or
something like that. My Nightwalker's a little bit less, because my Nightwalker still can't really solo Lomian yet, because I don't really know why. I feel like it's because phase 1 takes a really long time, and it has to do with the amount of damage that I put out, and that Lotus like makes it really hard to kill, because my attack range, like the quintuple star, like the actual range it goes, like the distance it moves is kind of the same distance as you get slapped away. And then phase 1 you can't jump attack pretty much, so it's basically if you don't have more damage than you need, you're just like there. Like I don't die or anything because I have dark sight, but it's just really a really huge time sink, and I think I might be able to solo it, but I haven't really like tried.
Yeah, whether it's worth it or not is the real question.
It took like I think 25 minutes with help in the phase 1, because my friend died out on phase 1, but I just went all the way through, and it took like at least like 25 minutes
for just Lotus.
Really sure. Yeah.
So
well, I know I can't do Damien on my Nightwalker, but like my other characters can do Lomian, CPAP, and Akechi and all that, but my Nightwalker still can't do Lomian and still can't do CPAP and still can't do Akechi.
Okay. Well, that's kind of you did touch on what I think is the most important part, is like what do you want for the character, right? Like what do you want to be able to do? Because if the metric is just like, well, can it be upgraded? Well, yeah, the answer is always yes, and then you're completely like back to square one. It's like, yeah, you can upgrade. The question is like, do you want to upgrade? Is it necessary to upgrade? Are there pieces of content that you are close to that you can't do yet properly that you would like to be able to do, and that would be beneficial for your account, I guess. It seems like your Shadower and your Bowmaster are in a good position where they can do.
Yeah, for now, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then my Nightwalker, I kind of want to bring up my Nightwalker a bit for just to be at the same level in terms of being able to do CPAP, Akechi, and Lomian, at least in a reasonable time, because I think my Bowmaster and Shadower have similar clear times for Helix and for Damien, like Lotus Damien now. But my Shadower is still faster because my Shadower just seems to have insane scaling reason. But my Bowmaster isn't that far behind, which is kind of surprising. Like both of them have like really insane damage and low burst time, which is interesting.
Yeah, 2 minute is
my Phantom's
useful.
a lot slower than the rest for sure. Slower than my Bowmaster and Shadower. But I think that's because I've put less time in that character, and also like I think the scaling on Phantom is just lower than most other classes.
Well, you can also already see by Shadower the fact that it's like 4 levels lower, but it's got more Legion power, so the Star Force is probably quite good on that one.
Yeah, I got really far with the last 5, 10, 15 on my Shadower.
Yeah, so I mean, just from that, like the options I'm seeing is definitely just squeezing out some 17s on the Phantom and probably trying to squeeze out some 17s on the Nightwalker that I assume it doesn't have yet.
Yeah, I don't think I have any. The only thing I have is an 18, I think, or a 17 for my Absolab weapon, but I think everything else is probably below 13, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like 13 and lower.
Yeah.
So that could definitely use some help.
Yeah, and just 12 to 17, well, that's not a just, right? That's really big if that happens on like 6 or 7 characters there. 6 or 7 items, and it doesn't have superior Gollux, right?
Yeah, I'll probably use it on Reinforced or on some of my other gear.
Reinforced will be fine, honestly. If you're not sure how far you're going to take it, like Reinforced is also really, really good. You only have 15% IED less, and Nightwalker has that built-in IED in your passive with the debuffs, so Nightwalker can definitely overcome that little bit of difference, and it's way faster to come online with that. And like you said, even if you do decide to go for the drops later, you could just transfer over and safeguard less star, and boom, you're done, right? So
that's true.
It's never a bad step to go for.
Yeah, I think
I'll on boss meals. Sorry, caveat on boss meals.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I think I'll stick with my Phantom as a main because I'm actually really enjoying. I like the playstyle. I know the class is really weak, but I just enjoy that it's not overly difficult to play because I realized that when I was playing, I was planning the main Shadower, and then I kind of realized that it's gonna be like a little bit much. I kind of enjoy Phantom more. Yeah, and also like the Meso Explosion Assassinate cancel thing that I was like, I kind of understand like in theory how it works, but like I've never successfully done it before, and I don't know how to even tell if I'm even doing it properly because with all the attack speed bonuses, like it's kind of hard to tell if you're really attacking faster or not. So I think I'm gonna stick with as potential mains, possible mains. Basically, my Phantom's gonna be like my main, and then my Bowmaster is gonna kind of be my off main that I'm just playing by myself and not like doing bosses with other people with.
But in general, you're still trying to like solo. Were you like solo progression with the Bowmaster, you said, and then trying to burn it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to. I think I'm not even sure what the next thing after CPAP is, but probably I want to say like Easy Lucid maybe, and kind of starting to get to Easy Will and all that stuff, and Normal Slime. So kind of get to that point.
Well, I would put Lotus and Damien above CPAP, right? And then
that's true. But I can kill those already.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Or
then it's probably either Slime or Easy Lucid. It's a little bit class dependent.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Luckily, survivability is really good on Bowmaster, and I got my KRR ring, so I have that iframe. Since I don't have an iframe, it's kind of nice to have that just when I need it. For CPAP, it comes in clutch. Sure.
Oh yeah, does it help a lot there? When
it does, because
you just 16 things going on at once.
Exactly. Like most of the time on Bowmat, like range classes on CPAP, you have like a pretty good advantage because you're not really too close to the clocks and you can kind of maneuver around more. But
yeah, you need one of those claws and you're done.
Exactly, and I don't want to always have to buy buff freezers because I like to try to conserve my money if I can.
Yeah, my characters are like one chunk stronger. I would just like, you just buy 1 or 2 buff freezers. Usually you don't need any of them. Sometimes 1 if some weird shit happens, but you just get to the point where you're like 30k stat and you get to 250 and then you just blow those bosses all up and it's easy mode.
Yeah, on Damien it used to take me like, I used to buy 7 or 8 buff freezers and use all of them, and now I bought, like the first time I bought 7 or 8 and didn't use any of them, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah. But even then, 30 mil of insurance to make sure that you can keep your buffs on. It's still a small price to pay, but if you did it on all your characters, then one of your boss mules is just there
Kind of a lot.
to fund the other ones. It's like a 2-income household, and one person is working just to pay for the childcare, and then you're like, wait a minute, shouldn't we just stay home? Doesn't that cut out the cost? Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, but so talking about the Nightwalker to elevate that one to get onto the same level somewhat with the Bowmaster and the Shadower, is that something that you're thinking about, or are you thinking like you don't have that kind of money, or it would go at the expense of the Phantom too much, or?
I think I should have enough for it. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna have enough for it during this cycle for Nitro, but I know for the 30% off for the Ignition update, I think there's another Star Force event, right? So I
It
think
should be a Shining Star Force probably.
Yeah, so I think I'll have a lot of resources because I'm kind of planning, so I'm kind of going like full Legion because there's partially for account progression, but also partially because my guild is having an event like where the first person to reach 8k Legion gets like a certain reward. I think it's like $100 of an X or something, so I kind of want to buy a Vega Pet with that, so I don't have to like go too far in, right? But that's part of it, but I also kind of wanted to get to 8k anyways, because again, I always switch mains, and it would be cool to experience other characters, but also just for my account progression in general to kind of support all my other meals that I'm making, and just my account and my main characters too.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely a thing.
8k, and then stop. I'm not gonna go past that probably ever.
Come on,
so
bro.
I'll just sit at that.
8k. Boo.
I'll just be a Legion.
8k is a new 6k, man. Come on. 9k.
That's kind of true. But just for now, and then
Just
I'll
for now,
probably be focusing back on my main characters and trying to get those characters back up.
Yeah, because I'm thinking most of the gear would be like 140, 150, 160, right? So take 150 average. Yeah, with like.
Yeah, my CRA for sure is gonna need it on my Nightwalker. I think I kind of started my Nightwalker. I think I got one thing to 16. That was like one of the off event things.
Yeah. Seems like it's like 10, 15% more expensive to get to 17 during Shining versus Nobu and 5, 10, 15 combined.
Okay, so I need to sink a lot of mesos into that. I think I still have 11 bill, so I should probably be able to get close to like 15 maybe or more this week.
Well, you get your weeklies now and your weeklies next week, right?
Yeah, so then maybe another 5 or maybe a little bit more. That'll probably be close to 20.
Yeah,
that
20,
should be
21.
Probably enough to get a lot of stuff to 17, I hope.
Yeah, it looks here. So I look for 12 to 17 with safeguard. So if you're doing like CRA as well without safeguard, then it's you're looking close to I know I usually get kind of ballpark like in the middle of the two, like a little bit closer to like around 700ish, and then with safeguard for like that stuff, it'll be a little over 800.
Okay. Yeah, I probably won't need to safeguard most of the things, but I'm thinking for my Bowmaster, I haven't really pre-farmed my my Dark World tree in all those weeklies.
I see. Okay.
And the Lotus sides, so I really won't be able to.
Well, it's Sunday, so you better get to
on my Bowmaster. Exactly. So I won't really be able to.
Time for 4 sets today.
Good faith, try to do it on my Bowmaster without safeguarding, at least to 16 and 17.
Yeah, just I think it's totally fine to 16 and 17 safeguard regardless, like. Because I don't see myself doing those either. Yeah, well, yeah. That's that would be ouch. You don't have a Fafnir to transfer in?
I should. So maybe I should just do it that way then. That would be a lot less risk, and I wouldn't have to safeguard. That's true.
Yeah, you could always no risk. Well, yeah, but then you would have to go up to 18, right? Yeah, and but at least you get some value out of it. But you could always like try to tap it up to 18 if it works without safeguarding, right? Then you transfer no risk, and if it doesn't go, then it probably booms, and then you have to safeguard anyway. But it'll be relatively cheap, I think.
Yeah, and my weapon would still keep the flame, right? Because I have a pretty okay flame right now.
You would keep your existing flame on the Abso, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. See, if you hit an 18, like that's pretty expensive on the 150 to transfer over, even without safeguard. So even at that point, 160. With safeguard, like 12 to 17 should be Yeah, it's like 600 mil cheaper. So it just totally makes more sense to just stay on the low amount. I mean, even if you already have the Fafnir at like, is it at 17 now or?
I think on my Bowmaster they're at 16, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my Phantom has some 16s, but not my full Fafnir isn't 16. Like most of them are though.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 2 or 3 of them, and the other ones are like 12 or 13 because my money just ran out before they would go all the way.
I see. Well, when I say Fafnir, means specifically the weapon, right? Because that's got the
Oh, the weapon.
the Fafnir prefix.
Let me see. I don't think I have any weapons that are Star Forest right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then you might as well just do it straight up on the app. So, like
That's what I was
No
thinking.
Boom 5.15 basically allows you to not have to transfer hammer, and you pay the same. So it's just simpler that way.
Yeah, also my Phantoms, for whatever reason, I think I ran out of Mesos or something, but I think I was waiting for 5, 10, 15.
Mm-hmm.
So my Fafnir, I mean not my Fafnir, my Absolab weapon on my Phantom's actually at 15 right now for whatever reason. So
It's
I
like
should be getting that 16.
pause.
That free. Yeah, I was just like, it's like pause
Waiting.
champ right there. Waiting for this event to get some progress.
Or maybe there was an event and then you focused on the other characters, and then only a month later you notice like, oh, the weapon should have gone as well.
My Shadower. My Shadower got like all the 16s and 17s. I think I got full. I got my equips to 17. My like my top, my bottom, and my all those.
Yeah, that's always
my
a
hat.
good. That's usually the jump that allows you to do Lotus and Damien a lot faster.
Yeah, that's why my Shadower is just chilling right now.
Mm-hmm. But he's a little bit too hands-on for all the time. Yeah,
exactly.
I feel that. Yeah, that's probably for me. Arc is like right in the sweet spot where it's like it is hands-on, but to the extent where you can like fully muscle memory it, and then you can kind of just like look somewhere else. It's just barely able to do that. But then the classes that are just a little bit more than that are immediately too much for me. So it's like just on the cusp of like this is manageable.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Honestly, Nightwalker was kind of hard, but with sticky keys, it's not too hard. But like sticky keys kind of messes up your layout a little bit. I ended up changing my jump button to D so that I can flash jump, because I think if you have your flash jump on like control and alt and stuff, it like messes up your.
Oh, I see.
You have to put the flash jump on a different button to actually make it work. So it screws up your mobility, which kind of ruins the whole class for me. Cause
a little bit, yeah. It's built on
really mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I had to end up like revamping all my characters because I'd kind of like to have a consistent layout. So I just ended up changing all my characters jump button to D. So I basically ended up changing like the
where you put your hand basically.
Yeah,
like
so I basically just moved my jump and my attack button and just switched the spots.
Yeah.
So that's actually worked pretty well. But the thing about Phantom is that like you can pre-activate for Helix Freud's Wisdom to 6 stacks or to 5 stacks, and you can do your whole buff rotation like I'm like a level 280 and like do everything before you go in, and then go in with like 30 seconds of invincibility for phase 1.
And then if you're dead, do another 30, and then when it's over, do another 30 seconds. With
I usually don't do that, but I mean sometimes I get to 1 life, so can't make any promises. But usually that's enough for me to do pretty substantial damage to the boss. So that's Legion in a nutshell. Trying to get to 8k during Nitro. That's the plan. I'm just gonna go all in with EXP bonuses from the event, and then I think I listened to your video about I'm gonna be saving I only have 14. I ended up using one totem because I had a bunch of 2x coupons that I didn't want to expire, and I know I'm not gonna have enough anyways. So I think it overcame like the massive amounts of EXP, or it's probably similar to the amount of EXP I'll get later. So I was like, okay, I'll just use all these.
That's fine.
And there was also a lot of atmospheric MVPs at that time, so I was like, okay. So I just ended up going like on my dual blade to like 161 or whatever.
Yeah, and it also takes a little bit of pressure off needing to do all of it, at the end, because then I usually say like if you feel like do a totem, just do a totem, because there might be a time where you still have one and you don't feel like doing it, and then you don't want to have to push yourself because it's just not fun. Like you'll get the gains and you'll get over it, but it's not a good feeling to be in when you're pushing yourself because of the game. So if you're actually feeling like it, just do one.
Exactly. Also, I made it to within like the time between like when I was messaging you and making this on Discord and training, I got my Legion to 6,500, so it's a little bit higher than that right now.
Okay.
So it's getting there. It's 1,500 more basically.
Nice. Was that with the new character or with the existing character?
That was with the new character.
Okay.
Because I also used those 10 EXP things that level up your character, the bonks.
Extreme
I
growth
use that on
potions.
my
Yeah.
Beast Tamer, and then I use a little bit on my Blaster because I don't like Beast Tamer and the damage. I just can't deal with it. And then Blaster, I just am kind of incompetent, so
Oh
I
yeah,
can't.
I feel that.
Like I kind of went through the phase of trying to learn how to do it, and I sort of like kind of did it like once or twice or something. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw someone do it, and I
my
was like,
hands
"This
started
is
hurting.
not what it looks like when I do it." Like,
I just saw the video, like the cycle that you have to do your hands through, like the 4 buttons that you have to continuously press. Yeah,
yeah.
after I saw that, I was kind of just over it a little bit.
Well,
I
yeah,
just
it's not just it's not just which buttons, but it's also the exact order and how long you have to like hold them down in the sequence, and it's like there's too much going on
Oh
there.
yeah,
It's like you're fucking playing a trumpet or something, right? Like it's like
literally, it's
like
true.
you're
It's
playing an
true, literally.
instrument, and it's like, dude,
And once
I
it
don't
talks
have that
about bobbing and
coordination.
weaving and like all the perfect things that you can do, and like how no one actually does it in real life because it just doesn't make any sense to do on bosses because it just takes like you just can't focus on the actual boss because you're just trying to do like no reload, right? You're trying to do all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Yeah,
I would not be able to
I
focus.
saw
Yeah,
someone try
there's
to
just
do
too much
black
going
mage
on.
like first entry ever, and then like dashing forward, backward, and the way they were moving was like, this is impressive. But I mean, they were dying out still, but it was their very first entry. But I was like, damn, I can
Exactly.
imagine fighting the whole boss fight like this. It sounds super intense. Well,
Yeah, the
some people love
movements
it.
is crazy. Like trying to get like because you can go like almost any distance you want. That's the cool thing about it, but you have to cancel it perfectly
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
to that distance.
exactly.
That's kind of yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
also
happy I didn't stick with that one. That would have been an L for the team.
yeah, but it's good to feel like it's just not really your thing, and then just move on. Yeah, as long as you're not someone then shit talking the class for the rest of their life, because those people are annoying as hell. It's like,
That's
okay,
true.
it's
I
just
actually
not for
really
you.
respect that
Move
class.
on.
It's
Mhm.
pretty cool. It's just not my cup of tea. My hands aren't built like that.
Exactly. I feel that. Okay. But yeah, so in terms of Legion, the resource management, I guess. Do you feel like you have a better grasp on like how far you want to push every character? Like, what are they able to do now? And because you can kind of compare them to each other, right? You know which characters can already do what, which ones are a little bit falling short, and you can see like, okay, this one needs better flames, or this one needs the Star Force upgrade, or this one just needs a little bit more better potential to bring them all up to the level of whatever character can already do them.
Yeah, I need to start doing BAs, but especially on my Shadow and my Bowmaster. But I know that my Bowmaster's made like huge strides because my Shadower used to be like the hallmark of my account in terms of killing Lomian and
Mm-hmm.
just being fast at bosses. And now that my Bowmaster can kill Helix and Lomian at similar speeds, it used to take my Bowmaster I think 20 minutes to do Lotus and like 25 to do Damien, and now it's like half that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 7, maybe like 7 or 8 or 9-ish to do Lotus, and then maybe like 12 to 13 for Damien.
Since
So it's
Destiny,
way
or
faster.
since you made a big upgrade? Or
I'm trying to
combination,
think.
maybe a little bit.
Since it's kind of a combination.
Yeah. Yeah, because Destiny was
Yeah,
huge for them, yeah.
definitely. It was a really huge upgrade.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so a little bit of Nightwalker work and a few items on the Bowmaster, I think you said, and then the rest of the
Yeah.
money all just goes into the Phantom. And yeah, if you're really working
Yep.
up to 17, I think 15, 15, and No Boom together is like a godsend. And then
That's
any
what I
kind of
thought.
money you make, once Shining Star first comes by, will be like to go for anything past 17. So first project there will probably be like CRA stuff from 17 to 19, and then it'll be up to you to
Okay.
see like which character can receive that upgrade and can put that to best use, and then prioritize that character.
Okay. Yeah, my Phantom's gonna be a little bit struggling because the scaling's kind of. I need to do node upgrades
Mm-hmm.
and kind of get my skills up a little bit more because I realize that I think it's a lot also my gear since I don't have fully invested a
Mm-hmm.
lot of my gear yet. So there's still a lot of room that I can improve. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to invest what I have now or kind of wait for Spirit Golux because I'm kind of close to my second piece, but I'm not really close to like the whole set unless I get drops. Obviously, then I'll be
Yeah.
really close. But
Yeah, a lot can change in a week, because I remember I was going for
it's true. It's
1,800
really
coins. I was
RNG.
doing like I was going to try to do ring pendant, right? Like superior, reinforced, and then the pendant, and then just bow out. And I didn't get a single
Exactly.
drop until 1,700. And I was like, okay,
Dang.
well, this is going to take forever. And then in those last 100 coins, I also got one earring and 2 belts drop. In the last, I was like,
Oh my
so
god.
nothing hit 1,700, and then 3 drops in the last 100. Is like, okay, well, now I'm done. And I even had a backup, so it can
That's
really change on
insane.
a dime like that.
Yeah, I have tons of reinforced, so if I need to not
Yeah,
safeguard, I don't have to.
yeah, that helps.
Definitely.
Okay, so next Sunday is gonna be huge for you.
Definitely. Gonna have to farm up for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see you easily passing 20, right? You've got your weeklies now, weeklies next week. You got Ursus, you got some more Maple Tour, you got totems here and there. Like
Exactly. So I should be able
23.
to make it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to focus on doing all the dailies and not forgetting them. I don't usually do well, I kind of do daily bosses sometimes, so I should probably make that more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm usually too tired to do it on more than one character, so I usually just do it on the character I'm playing at the time, which is probably my Phantom, which is fast, and then I
Yeah.
can get my dominance and whatnot, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. Like normal arc is by far the most important for daily bosses. If you want, you can add like normal Magnus, normal Queen, normal Vellum, and then Helix,
Okay.
of course. But like the Helix and arc are definitely the most important for future prospects, right? Because if you see drops, then that might be the other thing is that if you're kind of Legion maining, but you're like maining like these characters that are all kind of at the same level, and then one gets like all the drops and the other ones get nothing, that might also be like, well, I don't necessarily like it way more than the other classes, but you know, the universe is kind of telling you like this class is going to have an easier time, so you might as well then push that character first, and then once that character hits the wall, maybe the other ones get some drops and then the other ones can catch up again. So you can kind of like more organic, well, based on RNG basically, kind of progress through your account that way.
Okay. That's what I'll try to do.
Okay. Cool. So that's a little bit of the management between all of the mains. Is there any other topic where you felt like we could spend some attention?
Yeah, let me see. I don't know if we should go through my gear. My gear's kind of questionable right now.
We could do that. I mean, some of those will kind of obviously be projects, right, for next Sunday.
Definitely. Yeah.
But we can go through that.
So obviously, I can probably get this weapon to 17, most likely,
Mm-hmm.
because it's kind of in a struggle spot right now.
Yeah, so as a general rule, like if you feel like you might be short on the mezzos, then just, you know, tap all the 16s first as much as you can, and then work your way from 16 to 17, right? Because you don't have to safeguard anything up until that point. So then you have at least all the guaranteed gains, and then from then on out, you can, you know, because then if a regular Phantom 15 pops up for nothing, it'll still be the same price tag as it is now, so.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kind of wondering, I think this stuff's good for now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I got so much IED and boss damage on the emblem, but it's helpful because my character kind of had low IED, but now like when I put that on, it's just my IED just goes to like 93, and it's just like, do I
Oh
need that
yeah,
much?
I've got
Probably
like
not,
two
but
characters with like the same thing. It's yeah, as long as you're not holding on to as a crutch like forever, but until your Legion gets to 8k and until you get the Superior Godlike's complete set, secondary like that is perfect. You just slam it on and it just makes you deal so much more damage. And then when you're mobbing, obviously it's garbage. So then you have the other one, and then later on it also gives you the you know the safety net to start re-rolling just with red cubes, and you don't have to worry about ever completely fucking up.
that's true. Also, like my damage is kind of on the low side, so I'm kind of happy to have some attack, but I mean my boss damage is kind of on the low side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of something I'm really lacking on this character, especially since if you go up to my stats, it's really artificially inflated by the events that were happening at the time.
Okay.
What was it
Oh,
that
you got the
event? The
Tobin buff
buff
still, or?
Tobin event. So I think this is probably with maybe 35% or something, and that's also with like my Freud, which is like at least 9 to 13-ish. So I think normally I'm at like 130, and then when I put Legion, I'm probably at like 160 or something. And then anything else gets me a little bit higher, but it's really on the lower side. So I'm hoping to get, because my Bowmaster and my Shadower are like around that amount just normally, like 200 plus. So I'm kind of trying to work towards that. But I know that I think, is Reinforced Golix and Spirit Golix the same in terms of boss damage? I feel like
yes, 30 boss, but 15 ID versus 30 on Reinforced versus Superior. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm probably not going to be getting an upgrade from that. So I'm kind of trying to work on my boss damage a bit. So I don't know if maybe I should be trying to get another rerolling my emblem, or maybe I should leave it for now. But I just need to find another source of boss damage at some point. I don't need it right now, but at some point to get it higher.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about chasing any individual kind of type of stat like that, because some of it is going to come from, you know, like growing out your Legion. There's some boss damage there that can happen. Higher level link skills. I don't know if your you know, your Demon Slayer is already 210. If it's,
I believe so. You can probably take a look at my links that I have on. I don't know if my Demon Slayer is going to be on there though. But
oh yeah, here, yeah.
Maybe it is.
Oh yeah, it's level 3. Yeah. Okay.
I have a lot of them at level 3. They're kind of
Mhm.
all, some of them are all projects, so some of them can go a little further, but
I see. I
especially
see.
Beast Tamer.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
my most recent project was Angel Buster, so that was a
Yep.
pretty
You got
decent
the Plague
buff.
Buster. You got the
And then with the
Lumi.
chance to skip cooldowns, it's super clutch. So I think that works on terms and conditions.
Yep.
My inner ability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
half the
so
time you
that's
don't know if it
also
just
clutch
didn't
for
go off or
everything.
if it actually cooldown skipped, but it does.
Yeah, that's true. I never know, but it's just nice to have it.
You have to really look when you're pressing and see if it like flashes immediately or if it didn't go off, or maybe put it on like
Exactly.
skill alarm or something like that. Or I don't know if you can. Yeah, you probably can because the cooldown is longer than a certain amount.
Yeah, I also think I tapped all my stuff to pretty much 12 during what event was that? Was that
1+1 probably.
last week? Was it last week that it was the 10? You get 2 stars for every star you do or something. I don't know what week that was. That was at
At
least
least
like
2 weeks
a week or two
ago,
ago.
but it was pretty
So I
recent.
did
Yeah.
that on like everything. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a little bit outdated, but so everything should be 12 now. So that at least
Oh,
gives me a
okay.
place to jump off from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this stuff is kind of a work in progress. I'm not really sure how far I want to go with my reinforced. I probably should get it to legendary just so that I can eventually use it as drop gear or eventually use it as like a sub type gear. So I don't think it would be a bad idea to invest in it, but I don't really know if I should
Well,
just wait till I get superior.
not the belt, right? You're talking about the other ones.
Yeah, like the reinforced side and also the ring. Yeah, I ended up going for reinforced, the reinforced pendant, and just because I was already 3P,
Mm-hmm.
so I figured I might as well just go all the way at that point.
Yeah.
Because I got the ring early on, and then since I wasn't getting any superior drops, it gives me a pretty decent buff. And then once
Yeah.
I get things to 16, I think I'll be happy that I did it. Especially if I don't have superior by that time, it'll be like
Mm-hmm.
really good in the meantime. And since I have so many replacements, I don't have to worry about safeguarding. I mean, I do for the pendant, obviously, in the ring, but for the other
Mm-hmm.
pieces, I don't.
Yeah.
Because I should have more than enough to not boom stuff. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Knock
Hopefully,
on
and then
wood.
maybe I'll get CRA to 17 after I get everything else to 16. That's kind of the plan.
Yep.
And then eventually I want to get my, I guess, maybe I don't know if I want to wait for Arcane for the hat to go for -4, -3 second, but eventually I want to do that because Phantom has some really low cooldown 5th job skills like Ace in the Hole and
Mm-hmm.
also 4th job skills that I can steal or other skills that I don't really know like what the interplay is between like doing skill cooldown and having an inner ability that resets it. Like I don't know if I'm double dipping or if that like mitigates the effects in any way, but I kind of like it for 5th
Um.
job skills.
In general, that's double dipping. Most classes would either like one both or neither kind of thing.
That's what I thought.
For I don't know if there's a class where. Well, I mean, unless the only thing you're taking cooldowns off is 5th job, right? Because 5th job
That's the main
skip.
thing.
Yeah.
And also Final Cut, which is 4th job, I think.
Yeah, that's
I
4th.
think it is. Yeah, so I always use that for bossing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice. I think it already lasts the full time, but if I die or don't have a buff reason or something, like it's nice to
Mm-hmm.
have it off cooldown already. And also I think it works on the KRR ring too. So that's
Yep.
also nice.
And is there
Although I
a
don't really need it per se, but it's nice.
is there does buff duration help you with more things than the final cut?
I think buff duration does help. It kind of just helps with all my skills, I think. I'm still trying to get that line. I have not gotten it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is hard, dude. It's so expensive.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
I mean, I
ended
usually
up just
wouldn't
getting
even
12 at the
try
end.
to. Yeah, that's fine. But it's really like one whole big project to try to like tap to the unique line and then also like redo the top line again, right? Not to lose out your complete value of your inner ability. So
Exactly.
if you know that you want to get something like that eventually, then I would just definitely stop spending honor experience completely, and then just
Okay.
probably wait until you have like 1.5 million or something at least until you try to make that move. Otherwise, you're just not going to even have enough to get your legendary line back, and then whatever you get to, even if you get your perfect unique line, it's still going to be a setback, and that's not going to be desirable.
Yeah, for real. I'm thinking I'll probably stick with the skip cooldown for a long time, but I kind of want to get it to 20 if possible, because I know that it really impacts like
Yeah,
my
you can always
training
use
for
those black
Heaven
circulators, right?
Hammer.
If whenever they come out,
Yeah, I
and
should
then
probably do that at some point.
and then just
For the
pray.
events, I think.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
event
I heard
shops.
those can
Yeah.
be expensive at times.
Oh yeah, they're super
So maybe
expensive.
I won't buy them with my actual mesos. I'll just use events. That's probably better.
No, you can get it. You cannot get them with mesos. It'll only be event currency.
Okay, just event
Yeah.
currency. Got it.
And usually on these shops where we do get them, there's not much else to buy with the same currency. So it's not like you have
Okay,
a
that's
whole
nice.
a lot of options. Or you can cap with like a side character and then buy them there and then transfer them over, something like that.
Yeah, I had a question about droplets and mate nodes and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
for my item drop rate, I'm at 136. So is there a good number to be at if you're? I don't really plan to be using this character for mesa farming, but I probably should at some point since it's my main character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's kind of what I have right now, 136%. I'm kind of wondering if I need to go further with that, if I need to try to get to like 200 to get like a consistent amount of like droplets and nodes when I'm training.
Yeah, I never really know like the exact number you're going for, but you have increased drop
Yeah, I
rate,
just have
right?
the
Mm-hmm.
basic one, yeah. Or it's the mid tier one. I
Mid
don't have the
one.
large yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's on a that's on an epic one. Is it a 50
Yeah,
or
it's on an epic.
60% line?
I think are they different percentages?
Yeah, apparently there's two different ones with the exact same name because you know
Okay, I'll have to
consistency in
check.
this
It's
game.
probably I want to say it's probably 50.
Yeah, like yeah, rare or epic can be 50, and then epic or unique can be 60. So it could on epic it could be either one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so you
did
just
not know
equip it
that.
and just double check how much you're at. But it's yeah, it's 50 or 60, and then
Okay,
you've got
interesting.
your holy symbol
I need to max
is
that out.
yeah, it's a pretty low level.
It's
So
probably hard to read. I probably should have taken another picture of it. I don't even know if I've leveled it up at all, to be honest with you.
looks like level 1 to me.
It's
Yeah.
just like one, yeah.
Mhm.
It's just getting boosted from the whatever that thing's called,
Yeah, the slot.
where you get it +5.
Slot
Yeah.
enhancement. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good start, but
Yeah,
it's definitely
I
useful
probably
to
should work
level.
on
Yeah.
that too.
Mhm.
Okay, that'll be good for trying to get Helix drops too. So maybe that and Ace in the Hole could be my projects
That
for
and
leveling up.
well, for Helix for the superior, we're pretty sure that it's not affected by drop rate because it just
Oh, it
seems
isn't?
that people with a lot of drop rate or with zero drop rate has seen no significant difference whatsoever in their drop. But it would make a difference for like
Oh.
reinforced and below, but not for superior. It doesn't seem like it.
Okay, I think that does make a lot of sense.
The other thing that could
Okay,
be
I can
rather
see that.
small but could have a good impact is to level up your bind to enough to get it to exactly on 3-minute cooldown, so it synchronizes with everything.
Oh, that's true. How much cooldown does it normally have? Do you know?
I think it
The
starts
highest
with
cooldown?
216.
Okay. So I'm trying to get it to 180 basically.
Yeah, try to get it onto 180. It might be pretty close already. Yeah. So 180 is at level 10. So you get it
Okay,
to
so
level
try to get to level
5.
10.
Level 5 without
Okay.
the rank up, or to level 10 and then move it out. Yeah, but like total level
Okay, so
10
probably
would
5
be nice.
for
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it should be
And then
pretty
I'll
cheap.
get to 10 a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then
Yeah,
you've
I always
got
had so
it.
many questions about node priority because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the advice varies. I know it would vary based on character, but some of my guides say to go for my throwing one, which is the golden one first, to get that, because I think at a certain level it increases the duration by 1 second. I don't know how much
This
damage
guy?
that is, but yeah, that one. Some
Mm-hmm.
people, I don't think they say to max that first. They say that max Ace in the Hole first, but they say to get that one to, I think they say like 10 or 15 or something, because I think it goes from 6 to 7 or 7 to 8 or something. I don't know how much like percentage damage that is increased, but it's probably a lot because that skill does insane damage.
Okay, now you're
And it's
talking
also an
about the.
iframe.
Is it the one with the purple hooded guy?
Um,
Is that
it's
one?
the one. It's
Yeah,
that
this
one.
one, right? Yeah.
Lucky, the one above that one.
Oh, this one.
That's the one that it gives
Look at the
you
draw.
+1 second. Yeah, once I don't know what level it is though, but it's
Uh,
supposed to go
plus
from
6.
6 to 7. That's what it was. I think it might be 15. Is it 15?
Oh, maybe this is still an old one. Wait, which version of the game is this?
Okay, I just remember seeing that in the Phantom
223. Oh, this
Discord.
is old.
They say to get it from get it to a certain level, and then it gives you that bonus. I don't know how much of a priority it is because my nodes are kind of lacking a little bit.
Oh, this might be really old still. Oh, no, here it says at level 25.
25, so I have to get it to 25. That's like max, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it would be level 20 in a leveled up slot, or
Oh,
all
okay,
the way at
20
level
plus.
25.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's rough.
But
Yeah,
this
so
might
that's
be
kind of
this might
far
be a
out
bit
for me.
outdated.
I'll have to check with the Discord again.
Yeah,
But
Discord will know these details. Yeah.
yeah, so that's something that I'll probably do eventually, but I don't think I have the resources right now to do that because my nodes are already just lacking in general.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering how I should be distributing my nodes. I haven't started farming yet, but I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
in November before. Is November the month? Yeah, I think that's before Ignition.
Yep. Well,
Like once
of
Nitro
Ignition, right?
ends
16th will
of
be
Ignition.
Ignition itself starting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll probably try to start farming at least a little bit before that, but I kind of want to save a little bit of totems for my Bowmaster, but at least to get some mesos, to get some nodes, to get some droplets, so I can hopefully get some lucid gear, get some gains on my Phantom, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
I did get 2 of my tri-nodes, but I still need to get the impeccable, whatever those things are called.
Yeah,
The ones where
impeccable
you
memory
steal
ones, the one
skills.
for your mobbing skills, right? If you use those, or for the
Yeah,
skills that are in
exactly.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to get like the 4, 3, and 2, I think. In
Yeah, I
different
seen
orders.
there's a little
Those.
bit of variance there on what people prefer to do. Like, depending on where you want to train and which skills you prefer using, you would, yeah, level up different slots from what I've seen.
Yeah, I like Heaven's Hammer, especially with my inner ability. It's super clutch. It's pretty low cooldown and it pretty much kills the whole map.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
Which
they
is
changed
cool.
that hitbox now, right?
Yeah, that hitbox it's insane, honestly. Like even the monsters you can't see, they still die.
That's good.
I think it's a 15-second cooldown.
Memory 2 or 4, so you'd go for 4, and then 3 and card rows. Yeah, so you're going for like, yeah.
I actually might have some of these,
And so people
but it's in
go.
different orders.
Yeah.
I think I have Penumbra, Rose Finale, and Bison, Blason.
Blason.
I think I have those. Yeah.
The
Blason.
blason, pénombre, and carte rose finale. That's you're supposed to.
That's probably how it is.
Got
I
the
have no
they've
idea.
got the French. Yeah, mille aiguilles, tempest, and carte noire.
Yeah, I have number 1.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah, you
of
have this one
those, so
double,
that's
right? Yeah,
good.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's I would say it's the most important, but right now not really because I'm gonna be training
Yeah,
hopefully.
if you're gonna be
to get
grinding,
to
then it's not
250 at
as
some
important.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm one-shotting so far, but I haven't gone through the quest for the 240 area yet. I need to do it because
Mhm.
once I've learned that you didn't get a symbol, I was kind of like, eh. I should do it though, but eventually.
Oh, you mean for Stella? Yeah, Stella says no
Yes, that
symbol.
was.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so I'll probably do that whenever I plan to start training again. I'll unlock that.
And no cards
going
as well,
there.
which is also a bit of a bummer.
Okay, yeah, that makes me even not want to go even
Yeah,
more.
because like two 230s cards and 235s cards, and then 240s no cards, and
Yeah.
then 245s cards again. It's like,
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So then that's even more justification for me to just keep my Shadower in
yeah,
Vespera as long as possible.
yeah. Sella seems to be for all intents and purposes. Sella seems to be if you're really just trying to get EXP, and that's the main thing. You're just trying to level, and grind it up, because it's like not everyone goes there, so you have higher burn, and the maps are typically a little bit annoying to loot, and because there's more platforms, but more platforms also means more monsters, so more EXP. So it's really just you're trying to grind out levels, and then like Morass and Nesfera is more if you're trying to get okay EXP, but you're also trying to get the cards. And then if you're
Yeah.
really just trying to get like a combination of things, it's either you just in Arcana longer, or and then go into VC3 as soon as possible, or just anything in Moonbridge that matches for your class, because then you're hitting all of it. You're hitting good maps, good amount of monsters killed, good mezzo, and then in Moonbridge of course also cards and droplets on the way there, at least in the areas up until there, a lot of nodes. So that's going to be the one thing that's kind of holding you back, of course, is that since you're not funneling every single piece of resource into one character, every single character is going to be a bit slower, and then your totem management is that's going to be kind of the crux. Because we were kind of zigzagging through topics, but we were talking a little bit about like drop rate and gear stuff, right? And how far do you go? I think it's good to at least in your mind have like, this is like my one main character, and for that character. But eventually, everything that you think you're going to get up to 250, I would work towards like a combination drop and mezzo set. So like 9 accessories, 4 drop, 5 mezzo, and have that at least on all of them, so that if you slam a totem somewhere, it's always going to get that value.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that in that department, my Bowmaster is kind of the prodigy of the team, because my Bowmaster has a ring. I think it's an event ring with 40% drop, and then it has another ring that's 20 mesa, 20 drops. So my Bowmaster is kind of set up for that purpose.
Yep.
In terms of just like being the most lucky and getting like insane stuff that I shouldn't get like really early on with little.
Yeah, like I said, if you do enough of these roles, like one of your characters is just gonna be the star pupil. Like I'll be running hard lucid, hard will on a bunch of characters forever, and then 2 characters will get 1 drop in like 100 runs, and then 1 character after like 20 runs will be fully decked out 5 set and be like, well, okay, this is a chosen one. I guess we push this guy.
Honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think my Bowmaster's in a good spot for that. And I also have a ton of those Connor rings that I can scroll if I need to. I mean, Star Force. For
no scrolling here, okay?
I think I have at least 4 or 5. Yeah, my Bowmaster is a lot more lucky than my Phantom. My Phantom still has no Princess, no ring. So everyone's like, it doesn't have that low of a drop rate. I'm like, it's been 6 or 7 weeks. I'm pretty sure the drop, like, it's not super low, but I don't know. I still haven't gotten it for a long time, so it's clearly low enough for me to not get it.
It could be all over the place. Like Dominators is very, very fickle as well.
Definitely. I think I have 2 of those on my Phantom. I'm kind of working towards getting an okay flame on that so I can try to transpose. I don't really know if that's something I need to be focusing on this early on, but it seems
I would
like something
say
just happened in my mind.
Try to think of think of the flaming and the transposing once everything is like 17 and going into legendary, and full superior set is like setting in.
Already good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of in the future more. Okay. So let's see if we can talk about familiars a little bit.
Sure.
So also for resource splitting and management, I was planning to use my Phantom. I mean, not my Phantom. My Shadower as my main farming class person that kind of gets all the cards. So I was kind of wondering how I should be distributing all of these familiar cards, like assuming like I had like 40,000 or like however many thousand I have, like 1,000 of each card, or like the spiders, because I'm probably just going to be at the spiders for a long time.
Sure.
So I'm kind of wondering how I should be distributing them within characters and what I should be going for. Should I be trying to get all of them to rare and then have like drop rate on that, and then like go to epic and then get drop rate, and then go to unique and get drop rate, or is there like a better way to do it? I'm kind of not sure about how to deal with that.
Yeah, for sure. So you're talking specifically for just for your 4 characters, or also possibly like other characters that might end up working their way up?
Right now I'm talking about the 4, but in general, kind of like my whole account. But for now, 4, because I think 4 is as much as I can handle, given the length of time it takes me to kill bosses and how much time I have to spend to kill those bosses.
So there's well, there's a few steps, right? I would say step 1 is just trying to get small drop from just like common cards. Basically, it's just trying to get small drop and trying to get 15 ID, at least 2 of them. I think I would always work on getting that at least on all your characters. And then if they're actually going to be killing bosses and going to be training further, then I would open rares until you get like a increased item drop rate that line, at least on a rare as well. And I think anything past that is you're going to be making epics, and you're going to try to get either boss, IED, or large drop rate on epic. And I would definitely prioritize that on a character that you're trying to get the most drops on, because you're really trying to chase that item drop rate. Once you have that one, and let's say the Shadower gets a large item drop rate, and you know you have your regular IED probably by that point, because you can reveal those from common, right? And you're really trying to just like train and farm there. You're not really trying to do any more bosses than you already can. You're good on the bosses that you can do. Then you can start following the cards to the other characters, and then making epics there whenever you do a totem there to try to see if you can get large drop rate or large, decent amount of boss damage or decent amount of IED on those characters. If at that point another character, maybe rises to the top, maybe you want to start making a boss mule out of your DS or something, I don't know. Then you basically go back to like square one. It's like, okay, does it have the 15% IDs from common? No, then start throwing some commons on there. Does it have those, but you're also going to do bosses and you want to get the increased item drop rate? Then start just funneling your rares into there until you open that up, and then just transfer the rares back,
Okay. Yeah, since I have 3, I don't know why, like, I keep changing characters, but on my Shadower and on my Phantom, I decided to just go for unlocking all 3 of the slots, just so I have them. So that at least I have already done. Yep. So my Shadower can easily transition into like the
it's pretty impressive at that level, actually, because most of the easy like number 7, 8, 9, 10, those are like just from leveling, but you're never at that level yet, so you don't see too many people at this level already. 3 slots.
Yeah, I was at Aspera already, so it kind of,
Mm-hmm.
and then Morass wasn't too bad. I think there was one map in Morass, like the first map, that I just never go to for any reason.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
we
didn't have
skip over it.
that
Yeah.
card. Yeah, because they never have quests,
Yeah.
dailies in that area, so I always just
Exactly.
go to the second area.
Yeah.
So it's
Same.
basically
If they
that was
always
like one of
circle
the
back. Yeah.
exactly. So that was one of the only cards I needed, so it was super fast. And then
Mhm.
Aspera is kind of, you already have to kind of, I think, cycle through it for the quest.
Yeah,
in the
you
area,
get
I think,
everywhere
so
with the quest. Yeah.
you're basically already pretty much done for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
At least I was.
Yeah, but you're like doing
mostly.
Commercy and Rian and
Yeah, exactly.
the Mushroom Kingdom, like all of those, right?
Oh yeah, the
Temple
Mushroom
of Time.
Kingdom was a little. That was kind of like banging my head against the wall a little bit.
Yeah,
not
the
gonna
black
lie.
Viking at the end.
Yeah, trying to
So
get that
fun,
guy to drop. I wonder how long that took me, honestly. I feel like that probably took me at least. It took more than an hour.
For me, it was
at
like 100
whatever
kills.
Droprate I had.
I was on.
Yeah,
I was doing it
it
on
was probably close to
stream,
that.
and someone was like, "You have to use Abyssal Recall." You know, like the big. I was like, "Oh, I forgot. Oh, sorry. I didn't use Abyssal Recall." The next one, and it actually fucking drops, and the whole chat was like going crazy. And I'm like, "This is unreal. Like how." There was like 110
my
kills in or
gosh.
something, and someone just says it as a joke, and it actually works. And it's like, and it's like, "See, I told you." It's like, "Yeah, you told me." It's one of those moments that'll just never. Yeah, like how did that possibly happen? But it did. And Demolishizer, you're just
Okay.
like constantly going in as well. That can take a while.
Yeah, that's honestly such a big struggle. And then I also had a question about the crafting system. So I was kind of wondering, I kind of wanted to go towards the Meister route, especially on my Phantom, since
Yeah.
that's going to be my main character, and also my Bowmaster at some point. So I was wondering how to do that.
How are you looking
Should
on
I-
primals and grand spell essences and twisted times? Like sometimes those can be bottlenecks, right?
Okay. So once you get to 10, like what's the process? I've never really gone past 10 before.
Oh, sure. I
And
have
I'm
a
kind of
video.
wondering if I need to.
Yeah, I have a video
especially
on
for
it.
Alchemy. Okay, so I'll probably watch that. So for
um,
Alchemy, is it necessary to go past? I was kind of wondering because I think is the main thing just being able to have 2 potions. Like that seems cool, but I don't know how much I actually need that.
Yeah, even if you're just a Meister, just level 1, you can already use 2 potions. So it's not for that. The main thing is
Okay,
if you're
that's what
trying
I
to
thought.
craft like WAPs, you need level 10, so you're good on that. It's if you want to craft
Yeah.
like the boss rush potions, then you want to be 12.
Okay,
And maybe if you want to
got it.
craft like coin purses and stuff like that. The bags that you can make are smaller than the ones you can buy at NPC, but you can still make like coin purses as well, small ones and big ones.
So what are those for?
They just go like event coins and stuff go into
Event-
like
okay,
Galax
that
coins,
sounds
so
useful.
it's more expensive inventory for etc. But since you can already get so many bags now with the like the production bag and the big mineral and the herb bags, it takes a
Yeah, you probably
lot
don't
to
need
really
it
fill
too
up your
much.
inventory. So yeah, I don't think those coin purses are as necessary anymore. The real thing is just like it's kind of
Okay.
annoying to keep up unless you're specifically constantly remaking boss rush potions, and I don't think you're gonna ever be doing that unless you're actively doing Threads of Fate and like making enough use up flower oils, because you can. I think I'm actually in the game. I can probably be doing that. Oh, on my other character, I could be doing that right now.
Yeah, so I did watch. I don't remember whose video it was, but I think I was watching Birdie, and I think he had a video or something where
Mhm.
he was showing someone else's video on Threads of Fate. So I went through that, and since I just recently fixed Tengu, I
Yeah.
finally finished that on
Mhm.
my Shadower. And I also haven't done it on my Bowmaster for whatever reason. I haven't really done anything on Threads of Fate on my Bowmaster yet, but I
Mhm.
can if I want to. So on my Shadower, I've been doing that, and I think I got to 50 on Tengu, and I'm trying to work towards getting those pouches
Mhm.
so I can have that supply for my WAPs and whatnot. I still haven't gotten any recipes to drop, so I'm still kind of struggling with that, but I'm kind of trying to put plans in place. I might just end up using them on the EXP potions because I do have those, the recipes, and I feel like it
Mhm.
might be a good idea possibly for this event, but I don't really know if I'm going to need, the extra 10% because I'm already going to have so many buffs.
The more the
But
merrier, dude.
Maybe,
It stacks. So.
yeah, so I'll probably do it because I don't have any WAPs, so that's probably why I'll do it.
Mhm. Yeah, you have no recipe.
So
I
I
mean,
think-
the recipes can definitely drop from like all the bosses. So even if you're just doing like a
Okay.
bunch of Zakum runs on lower level characters, they might get them as well.
Okay. So maybe I'll look out for those.
Mm-hmm.
I always look for my inventory and I just never find them. So it's so sad.
Well, it's because you want them, right? You want them and you're actively searching for them, so now they don't drop. It's,
Yeah, and
it's
I made the
the
mistake
laws
of
of...
accidentally. I only found one, and I accidentally double-clicked it because I thought that I would just be able to use it, and I think my crafting was like level 4 or 5.
Why
Or
did you
something,
think
and I
that? Why
had
did
a
you...
low.
How could you think you
I
would know
don't know. My
anything in this
brain was
game?
literally, and then it just extended. Like the next day, I saw it expire, and I just like
You're
lost my mind.
You're like, why does that happen? And you're
I
like,
had one job. Like I only needed to have one recipe because I'm probably gonna wait for a couple months to actually start, or however long I'm gonna wait until I'm gonna start farming, and then just craft as many as I can with that one recipe that I find because I know it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, and for accessory crafter, like I would go to Meister if you can make at least like 3 rings or so, I would say.
Okay, so I should save up the resources for that.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely keep up at Meister, but it gets really annoying with like the DK and everything. You can keep making like pretty low. I think they already changed something about it, but it's like yeah, it starts decaying slowly, more slowly, and it doesn't decay as much. So it's a bit more forgiving now, but it's it's still there. You still have to keep crafting to keep up your rank.
Yeah, to keep it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so for crafting Meister cubes, do I have to go to 12 like you were saying, or?
You can't make cubes. That's only a non-reboot, so we don't have to worry about that at all.
Meister rings.
Yeah, Meister rings. Yeah. Yeah, for Meister rings, you have to be Meister rank, so that's specifically 12. Yeah.
Meister rank 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see in the.
I'll probably just watch guides on that one.
Yeah, in the menu you'll see like if it's it has like a little blue C that's Craftsman, so that's like the 11th rank, quote unquote, and if you see a red M, that's Meister, and then you have to be the 12th rank. And then that's the one.
Okay.
And anything past 10 can start decaying, so you have to keep crafting. Yeah, so we've got the Meister video. It also talks about a little bit about meta, but that's like from what the changes of going to 25 stars. It's a pretty old video. But it's the same, same thing to go up to Meisters. It's still the same thing, like which materials you need and which items you want to craft and everything.
Okay, how long does it take to go from like 10 to Meister? Probably takes a long time, right?
It's not too crazy.
It's about the resources, right? Having them.
Yeah, if you have the resources, it's probably about like 6-7 days or something. If you're crafting every day, if you're really crafting like on every single reset all the time, it can be a bit faster. But if you're just like crafting once or twice a day, you're getting through your entire bar and stuff, it's probably maybe about a week's work. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll probably just end up pre-farming everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing I'll be getting a lot of this stuff from dismantling, like level 50,
kind of.
Is that where?
Kind of. So like the primals are primal essences. Those can be the biggest bottleneck, right? So those you have to get from the big flowers, big veins,
from Arc, right?
And from Arcarium,
okay.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten a couple.
And now they drop more, but like from Chaos Slime and everything above, they can also drop, but you're not quite at that level yet. But there you can easily get them, and then you're basically getting like free ring drops for other characters because you can just transfer them as etc. drops. So that's pretty useful. You can use, as you grow your account, you can be like, oh, this character is very lucky with kind of treasure rings. Then you probably won't need to make a Meister, and then if another character is very unlucky with them, you can make Meisters there to like fill the spot of the kind of treasure ring, kind of, because they're identical.
So basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah, because they're like identical, right? They're both 140, same base stats, and they just fill the same purpose.
Okay, and then can't you transfer the Kana ring to something else? Is it like the slime ring that people say? I don't know.
Yeah, but you double jump, so you can do kind of Meister on the same level, and then reinforced as well. But of course, reinforced costs the Gollux coin, so typically you don't want to transfer that one. So one of the other ones can transfer into Superior, and then typically after that you do another one into Superior, and then the Superior another tap, and then into the slime. So use it as like a.
Oh, that's what people do. That makes sense.
Yeah. Double jumps. So for that reason,
really
you can never really have too many Meisters or Kana treasure rings because you'll want them themselves and to transfer and then to double transfer again. So you're going to need quite a lot of them if you want to go through all those steps.
Okay.
Or you get lucky and you get like 6 slime rings, and then maybe you can just do it on the slime ring itself without having to do any of the jumps, and then save a whole lot of money.
You could be a Giga Chad.
Yeah, just do it on the ring forehead. Like my
goodness.
Like my hero has gotten 4. So the hero, right? It's gotten like 2 of those Kaisariums, like 4 pap marks. It's gotten like the whole arcane set already, like twice over almost, and then 4 slime rings from normal as well. And it's just that one character just gets all of it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh Oh my gosh.
So if
That's crazy.
if I really want to push that character, I'll just like try 1 or 2 slime rings to try to get it all the way up to 21. And if it goes, then I'll have saved a whole bunch of trouble. If it doesn't, I can always just like 20 to 21, 20 to 21. And if the last one doesn't go, I'll just sit at 20. You know, that's fine too. But a lot has to go wrong for that to be like, you know, the last out.
Okay.
But
Wow,
yeah,
that is crazy.
you could be lucky on drops and then be very unlucky on upgrading, or you can be unlucky on drops and then when you finally get it, it goes all the way in first try. You know, it's
Yeah, definitely. I've been having a really hard time getting pat marks, getting guardian
Oh.
slime rings, and then consistently getting pink bean marks has been hard because for whatever reason my Nightwalker gets all of the pink bean marks and no one
Okay.
else gets any. I think
you
my
should share, dude.
Phantom
Well,
might
he's a
have gotten
thief, right?
one.
So it makes sense.
I know, right? I don't really understand why it is that some of my characters get everything. It's like a weird resource distribution,
Yeah.
but it's a struggle to get anything to drop on my Phantom. I do not know why.
Mm-hmm.
It is the biggest struggle. So I'm just really trying to get the. How long does it normally take to get the pat mark? It probably just really varies.
It really, really varies. My Ice Lightning
Does
got it on
Droprate
the.
affect that? It does, right?
Yeah, it
I should probably
probably
try to get
does, yeah.
mine.
It probably does.
Probably
for-
try to
yeah.
at least get to 200 or something if I can. To,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I should be using pots, but I feel like it'd be really hard to use pots in CPAP
Pots.
because then I would have to have, yeah, like the Legion ones,
Oh,
the drop ones.
yeah, the drop
I don't know if
coupons.
that's something I should be trying to do.
Depends on how much you're
It'd
at.
be kind of hard.
If you really want the drop, like I try to use like half-hour coupon and then squeeze in all the bosses that you can within that half hour kind of thing.
Okay, I'll probably have to have buff freezers then because I might die. I might
Yeah,
die on
you just want to have
CPAP.
like 1 or 2, because yeah, very little has to go wrong for CPAP to claim at least 1 life. Yeah,
Exactly.
or you know, Freud's and
Okay.
Sacrosanctity. You know, just power.
That's true. I
power
usually
through the
don't
whole
run
thing.
Sacrosanctity, but
Maybe for
I
that
could
boss,
probably
you know.
run it. I probably should. It's because it takes away from my damage.
Yeah.
So it kind of is a little bit rough on me.
You
But
know what also
it's
takes
probably
away for your
the best.
damage?
Yeah, it also makes
Dying.
way for me to not wipe 5
Yeah.
times over.
Exactly.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that my Shadow actually struggles the most on the bosses, like, basically CPAP.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why my Shadow struggles so much on. It's probably because of how awkward it is to use the iframe, the Shadow iframe. But my Bowmaster survives way easier for some reason. Maybe it's because of the KRR ring. But I think because my Bowmaster has like that healing, and then you can be like really far away, and you don't have to stand like directly on the boss to damage
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or something. But it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then obviously my Phantom doesn't have. My Phantom's damage is kind of really low, but I don't really have trouble with CPAP just because of how long my iframes are.
You
They're
just
just unnecessarily
dance.
long.
Yeah. Just dance through all
It's
the
just
damage.
insane. Exactly. I just like do the spin, like do my whole combo,
Mm-hmm.
and like all my combos like already done, and I'm still damaging it, and I still have like 10 more seconds on my iframe.
What do I do now?
It's
Well,
insane.
just twirl around
Literally,
some
kind
more.
of just spin around.
Oh,
I
that's
think-
also great,
aren't
right?
they-
About the cooldown skip is that your Tempest can cooldown skip.
Yeah. Also, isn't I
Hmm.
think the Tempest is getting buffed for it's either Ignition or it's something
Yeah.
sometime soon. I think they're doubling the damage. I mean, it's kind of like ends up doubling it. I think because
Hmm.
they're making it shorter and do more damage, so you get the
Right.
most of the damage up front. or
So yeah, so you're not spinning for like 10 seconds just to commit the damage. You can do it way faster. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like 5 seconds or something, and then I think
Yeah,
wouldn't that be a really big buff because of like the cooldown skip? Wouldn't that make it even more valuable because you're
Yeah,
getting that
no.
damage faster?
You have even more
That's gonna
chance to
be
get like
insane.
multiple spins off in the same amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I had one more question. So for Legion grids,
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't really take a picture of my other one, but I think right now I have normal damage and crit rate and boss crit damage right now for my training side
Okay.
of my Legion.
Mhm.
So I was wondering if I should be trying to go into the bonus EXP side because it seems like people are kind of conflicted about that. Like, should you does it give enough to be worth it? Is that worth my time?
It's always so the priority is always just to kill the monsters as fast as you can and to try to get to map clearing. If you can map
That's what I
clear,
figured.
then you
Of
can get as
normal
much
monster
bonus
damage.
EXP if you want. But if you're not quite there yet, then always put it in damage first to get closer to map clearing, and then bonus EXP afterwards. Same thing with your hyper stats.
Okay, so I should probably work on that.
Yeah.
And then is there any way to get like a third grid?
Yeah.
For the Legion.
Yeah, you can get up to 5, right? You see up to 5 numbers, so you'll have to talk to the NPC. All the way on the bottom, there's like an envelope you can buy, and it unlocks an extra grid for 1 month if you use it.
Okay, I should probably do that because I think I kind of want to make one that has buff duration.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be useful on my Phantom. I don't know if it would be useful at the expense of other things, but maybe for training, normal damage, buff duration, maybe
Mm-hmm.
EXP, crit damage. That'd be interesting to think
Yeah,
about.
the closer you get to 8K Legion, the more useful that'll get because you'll be covering so much
Yeah,
more
right now I
ground.
don't have extra. Yeah, I don't really
Yeah.
have the extra space now, but I think once I get like the next 1500, I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe 1200 will be relatively easy because I have a lot of characters that are like level 1 that aren't even in my Legion yet that are going to make substantial increases to my Legion. Well, I guess it's not going to be like that drastic, but
Well, you have
it'll
up
be
to
like probably.
42 characters, right? Will count. So, are you
Yeah,
at
I have a lot of
35
characters
now?
that are low. I think so.
No.
Something like that.
So if you get 7
But
characters at
it's
least at
definitely,
level like
yeah.
150, that's 1K extra already.
Yeah, and then after that, it's probably gonna get a little bit harder because I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna have to level up the characters that are already leveled. But with the event, I don't think it'll be too
Yeah.
hard.
We
I
got the
think what
bumper
I'm most
cars,
worried
right? We
about,
got the bumper cars.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I'm most worried about running out of um, my totems because I
Mm-hmm.
already have used all of them from last month. I don't remember what I was doing, but probably leveling mules. I think I was leveling up my 0. I don't
Yeah.
know why I didn't level up my 0 for a long time, but then I went through the quest and then I think I understood why.
He's
It
like,
just took a
oh,
long
okay,
time.
I get it.
Yeah,
Why did
but
I ever start?
I
Oh.
eventually. Yeah, the class is actually pretty cool, but the damage is kind of lacking. But it was fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy that I got that extra 10% EXP.
Oh yeah,
That's super clutch. I probably should have done that a
that's
long
good.
time ago if I was being optimal, but I realized that
Yeah, for
I'm like
optimization's sake.
selectively
Yeah.
optimal. Yeah, I'm like very selectively optimal. Like I'll be really optimal on one thing and just like not care about anything else, like the other things.
Yeah, if you're
So it'll be like a
optimal in like a
yeah,
micro system, you're usually not optimal in a macro system though. So it's
exactly. So
depends on your
how
priority.
far do you think I'll be able to get in ignition for the Shining Star Force event? So if I'm trying to get all 4 of my characters progressed, I probably won't be able to go as far as if I was just doing one character probably. I'm just wondering like how
Yeah.
much money I'll be able to save and like how much I'll be able to actually get from it. Because I'm hoping to at least have a couple arcane pieces on my Phantom
Mm-hmm.
by the time that comes around. I don't know if
We're
I think I only have like
expecting like
4 or 5.
we're expecting like early second part of December most likely. I think that's what Matt was saying.
Okay, so I do have a good amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Should be
Okay.
about two and a half ish months from now, like a 10,
Okay, so I should be able to get a lot of money.
10 weeks.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll probably just end up saving. I think I'm probably gonna focus on my Phantom and my Bowmaster for those, because I think after this event, I think we'll be good on my Nightwalker. I should be able to get to Lomian, ideally.
Yeah.
I
So
hope.
that'll be number one. Will be like, can they do what they want to do? If they can, then they're just completely like low priority, right? And then you focus on the other ones. And then the other thing
Yeah.
is going to be like, does your character have backups and even the capability of tapping the things that you're trying to tap? Because I don't know if you want it to be like, trying to get like 21 CRA just because you have no kind of treasure rings. I don't know if that's smart or just. The other thing you could do is like 19 all your CRAs, for example, because you probably have a whole bunch of backups for that. And that could be relatively cheap, right? If you're going to 17 now, and you're 17 to 19.
That's a good idea. Maybe I should be trying to do that.
Looks like under 2 bill per piece.
Okay.
But yeah, that's 3 pieces.
And since I have
This is
extras,
6
I
per
don't have to
character.
really worry about things booming.
Yeah, you just slam it. See, average booms is even it's even under 1, so but if you can get
Wow.
unlucky. The thing is, like, if you're doing 3 of them per character, you're doing 4 characters, you're doing 12, at least, there's gonna be some booms. Right? It's pretty impossible to not boom
Yeah,
anything.
Okay, that makes sense. Let me see. Do I have any other questions? I think that's pretty much the majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so basically right now for my plans, I'm kind of going towards normal will, I think, on my Phantom. I think that's the next thing I'm kind of trying to get to. So I'm probably going to try to start
Mhm.
learning the mechanics at some point, and also the normal Lucid mechanics that I still kind of haven't learned. I kind of feel like I should learn them because I haven't really learned them because my parties have cleared so fast.
Okay.
And I have a good amount of iframes, and I can sort of understand when I'm about to die.
Mm-hmm.
I know like most of my deaths tend to be like really stupid deaths, like when it starts throwing out like those sword things or like
Yeah,
the
the sickles.
I don't know what those. Yeah,
Yeah.
the sickles. Like I
Yeah, the
usually end
main
up dying
thing
to
is
that
that she
because I
starts.
accidentally go towards her for
Yeah,
whatever
she'll
reason.
start glowing, and as soon as you see that, you just yell sickles and you just
Yeah,
jump
just
away.
run away.
Yeah.
And
Th-
then when the dragon thing happens, and you gotta make sure you pick the right side. Hopefully, that's
Yeah.
probably a good time to like use KRR rings because if you pick the wrong
Mhm.
side, it's just an L for
Yep.
your
Long
life.
iframe. Yeah, that is, and that's going to depend on party as well. Try to, as much as possible, angle yourself to be hitting Lucid and also hitting golems if you see them as much as possible, so they're just insta cleared. But it's going to be a matter of, yeah, if you have some kind of teleports or if you have a lot of airtime, if you're stacking Freuds. One thing you can
Yeah.
do, for example, is blink. If you have an up jump, right, as Phantom now?
Yes.
So if you up jump and as soon as that green beam hits, you blink and then you keep floating upwards. The only thing that could really go wrong is a golem can spawn like right underneath you, and then it will still
And
do
then you'll just
damage.
take damage.
But other than
Oh my
that,
gosh.
that could be a good way to try to mitigate more deaths in Lucid. The other thing with Lucid that for me took a long time to learn is cleansing. That happens is like the butterflies will appear on the back of the map, right? And the reason
Yeah.
that Lucid's HP is set up that way is that every time you take off an HP bar, you get a cleanse. And on the side, there's two statues, right? On each side, there's a statue, and it'll have like a little diamond in it, little gem that will light up if you have a cleanse available, up to 3. So if you hold your NPC chat, you can cleanse on that the same way you cleanse on like the Damien altar, basically. And if you cleanse, then the entire map is like rid of all the butterflies that are building up. So I don't know how long your runs have been. Have you ever seen like a million little pink butterflies like attacking everyone and killing everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what happens if you don't cleanse in time, if the whole like sky gets blotted out with butterflies. So if you see that there's like a lot of butterflies in the background, then you want to do a cleanse on the side. Typically somebody who dies reses on the left side, like right on top of the thing. So you can just call out for a res. For a cleanse, I mean.
Okay, that makes sense.
Phase 2 as
Yeah, I
well.
also need to land the
That's a little
will.
harder.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, phase 2, I don't really have as well. It's mostly just the sickles, and
Yeah.
then if I'm not paying attention, the fire obviously can kill me. But other than that, it's not too bad.
The dragon, you mean? Or
Yeah, the dragon.
Mhm.
Yeah, the dragon. Yeah, the other thing that I have a lot of trouble with, I don't even know if people really do this, but trying to stack Freuds while I'm doing a boss is literally, I've never had any success with that.
no.
Because I'm always focused on other things.
I can
That's why I
imagine,
always
yeah.
do it before the boss fight. Because if you try to do it during the boss fight, like I think you only have 30 seconds or something, but if you're not paying attention, you see the thing come up, but like you're already doing something else, like you're already bursting or you're dead or something, and then it
Mhm.
cancels it. All those things happen. So I guess I maybe shouldn't rely on that. Maybe I'll just rely on my KRR ring if I need it.
Yeah, that might be something that
you
you
gotta
just,
wait till
as you
it
get
gets
better
back.
at the mechanics, that you can weave in more things because you'll just have more of your like brain power ready to do those kind of things. In the beginning, everything will go towards dodging, looking at the icons, right? Like if Lucid is like all lighting up and everything, then you know that sickles are coming. The thing that she will all do is she float up a little bit. So what happens a lot, for example, is that it's like Dragon Call. You go all the way up to the top, right? A lot of times you go to the top right. And then a lot of times she'll be doing sickles after the dragon. And if you just like blind approach and just like jump down to go look where Lucid is, you usually jump through sickles and fucking die. So that's another one where you try to like approach very calmly there. That's what I call like a blind approach. Try to avoid those as much as possible. Try to not run towards a boss if you can't see what they're doing, because a bunch of the things that they're doing might actually kill you. Same thing with Damien, right? If you lose track of him and you just run towards him,
Yeah, definitely.
9 times out of 10
That's
he's
true.
diving right down on top of you and killing you.
Oh yeah.
So just
That's
kind of wait it
very
out, see if
relatable.
you can see like one of those yellow cheese balls dropping, then you know exactly what he's doing. Or you see him like coming swiping out of the corner, like for Damien, right? Then you know what he was doing. Same thing for Lucid, like just approach with caution, so until you know what she's doing. Because yeah, the only thing that's worse than dealing no damage is being dead, because then you deal no damage and you lose life. So better
That's
just
true. And if
choose.
you don't have buff freezers, you lose all your buffs.
Yeah, that's exceptionally bad if that happens on a party boss when everyone's trying to carry their own weight. Yeah. For Will, I sent you a video.
Yeah, for Will.
And also
Okay,
some
so I'll watch
links
that.
with there's also links there with some scratch games that somebody made where you can kind of like practice moving a character around and you can see the animations, so you can learn how to like dodge for phase 1, and for phase 2 you can see what the patterns look like, and then for so that you can learn to like get hit by the legs. That's the hard part basically. So you'll want to look on the bottom of the map, see if you can see like a cracked map. It's a little bit hard to see in the game, but in the mini game that I linked you, but in the actual game it'll be more clearly visible. But if there's like a crack, then you want to get hit by the spider leg, so the timing is pretty important. You see like a little particle effect show up on where the leg is going to hit. You want to move into that particle effect, wait until you see the actual leg hit, and then move towards the next particle effect, basically. Just moving from the left to the right. And you just need to get that timing right a little bit. And also, right after a sequence of 3 legs, it can reset to either be crack again or not be crack. And then it's really all about moving towards the left, but also checking the middle of the map to see, if you need to get right back into position 1 for the first leg, or if you can go all the way to the corner and just, dodge everything.
Okay.
Like
I'm thinking I'll do that, and then after maybe I'll find some friends that I can just run easy wheel on, and then actually practice it. I think that's probably going to be half the battle at that point. And then
you'll have to put it into practice, 100%. Yeah,
definitely. I probably need to get my Arcane Force up though first, because I think my Arcane Force is probably kind of lacking right now. I don't even think I'm at 1,000 quite yet, so I
think for easy, I believe they put the requirements and the level of the boss quite a bit lower. So it's really all about just looking at the hitboxes, looking at the timings and stuff.
Related.
Yeah, and then you can move into normal pretty quickly.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I see you had mentioned slime here as well.
Oh yeah, I need to. That
should
be so hard. It's mostly the part where the slimes like drop down. And I think it shows like a color, and you have to block doors or something, right?
Yeah. So there's 2 parts.
Watch videos on that one.
Yeah. So the first test, there's a test like every 3 minutes basically, and the first one starts around, I think it's 27 minutes and about 15 seconds left on the clock. So you know that if you're like approaching that time, don't use like any long cooldown or long duration burst skills or something, because you're only going to be able to use like a few seconds of them. So around 27:15 is when the first test starts, and then the idea is basically that with the duration plus the test, that it's about a 3-minute part. So if you start with like 3-minute burst, and then you have the test, then you complete the test, then your 3-minute burst will be back up. So it's like ideal for 3-minute cooldown classes. If you're 2 or 4 minute, then you want to burst in the beginning and then just burst again when it's up, and then basically stall the test for a minute, so that or for like 50 seconds, so that by the end of the test, all of your 2-minute stuff is back up, or 4-minute stuff, depending on what kind of class you are. That way, it'll seem a bit slower because you're not fighting the boss for like a whole minute. But you will end up always having your burst when the boss is, and when you do the test properly, the boss will be bound for a little bit, kind of like what happens with Will. But you'll also take more final damage, so you'll be able to like wail on him and really commit that 2-minute or 4-minute burst like very hard, and then it doesn't count as a bind, so you can bind him again right after, and then he'll be stuck for a while, and you can really do a lot of the damage. And then in the beginning, you'll be focusing a lot on trying to block the portals to be able to do the test properly. But as you go on, you'll know exactly like, oh, I see a rock. This one can be flung over to the right. This one can be flung over to the left. And before you know it, you'll just be squeezing that in the middle. You don't really have to go looking for them. Maybe like once or twice, there's going to be a test where you're like, oh, there's not really any perfect rocks. Maybe you'll have to bump one twice. But it'll get easier and easier with more practice. So the main thing is that you need to hit the rocks, so you'll need to use NPC chat, and then the bar will need to be full. It's like shaped like a little slime, so it's like a green ball. And you need to use either the down arrow to shoot, to like kind of like kick the rock upwards, or the up arrow to kick it downwards. So you always have to do the opposite. In the beginning, you're gonna mess it up. Don't worry about it. It's gonna go wrong. Basically, what happens is that after the test, he's not going to be bound for a little bit, and he's not going to take extra final damage. So immediately he'll start fighting. So you have to be careful not to be on the same platform, right? If you're on the same platform, he can do that big jump skill that can one-shot you. So you just always want to be you always want to be platform higher than him, ideally, or the platform on the other side. If he's on the second platform from the top that's interrupted, you can be like on the other side of the platform. That way, that jump attack doesn't kill you. And a bunch of his other attacks just can't reach you if you're one higher than him. The downside is, of course, if you get to the highest part and he's all the way up there, then you can't really hit him properly. Yeah, it's very dangerous. Yeah. But then you can use that time instead to look for some good rocks and start kicking those over to the side. So the rocks will kind of like kick in like a half inverse parabola, basically, right? Like a kind of like a logarithmic trajectory. They can go pretty far and they go pretty high. So ideally, I like to just focus on one portal, usually the top left one. That's just the one that works for me. And I'll just look at all the rocks that are either in the middle, so either in the middle platform or the interrupted platform above it or the highest one. Basically all of the ones that are pretty close to the left or very far from the left on the right side, all of those will be able to hit. Because if you're very close to the portal and you give it like a lot of force, it'll just like jam itself into the portal. And if it's very far, then the angle will end up landing it into the portal.
Okay. Is this a boss I could practice by myself, or would it not go very far if I'm not doing enough damage?
Well, you can definitely
Kinda
practice blocking the portals
Maybe
just
like with a
without even
friend.
hitting the boss, because the test will just happen on the
Okay.
timer anyway.
Okay, so I could just
Yeah.
practice everything. Okay, that's
Yeah.
probably a good thing to do then. Because I know that when I do it with the party, I'm pretty sure there's only one person that knows what to do, it seems, or two at most, because
Mhm.
all the other people just stand at the top. Maybe they just assume one person knows what to do or something, but it seems like no one is really doing anything except for like one person pretty much.
Oh, so if you do like a pickup
Like,
group, everyone's just like chilling on the top, just waiting for the boss to.
yeah, mostly. I think, but it's not like a group that I know. It's like more of
Oh,
the
okay.
LFG kind of thing.
Right,
Or,
right, right.
I mean, maybe it's more like a alliance or people that I don't really normally do things with.
Right.
But it just seemed, I'm just under the impression based on like how people are dying to the jump and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, have you ever done this before? Like,
Yeah, you could jump
I mean,
in
I know I
time,
don't
but there's stuff that
understand.
can stun
Yeah,
you and stuff that can seduce you, right? Like there's like the
yeah,
pink or the purplish slime can seduce
yeah,
you, so that one
slimes.
can be tricky. So try to always like preemptively jump somewhere else, so that if something happens, you'll be jumping the other way. Or if you get stunned, you get stunned completely in the corner of the map, like far away from the boss, so it's no danger. So you'll learn to and like preemptively heal. Like the big laser typically hits you, even if you're a platform higher. But that does about 50% damage, so as long as you're not like terribly low, you'll be totally fine on that one. The one annoying thing is that if the lasers are about to happen, like the green lasers, and then a rock lands on you that stuns you, and then the slime is teleporting on you, like you get stunned by the rock, then stunned by the lasers, and then the slime is like, okay, he can do like 2 or 3 skills here that are going to completely mess you up. So as soon as you see those lasers appear, usually I start already like up jumping, and then usually one of those rocks lands like right where I was standing, trying to like combo me, and then it doesn't happen. And then if he spawns all the way up the top, then you wait for the lasers to end, jump back down, and then just focus on the rocks instead. Wait for the slime to come back, and if he doesn't go all the way up, then try to down jump back again where the lasers were, so the slime goes up but not all the way up, and then you still have a platform up top where you can hit him from.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, so
Thanks, I
once you
appreciate it.
yeah, once you block a door and it gets into the test, then all you have to do is guide the slimes into that door that you blocked, and then that'll be successful. Unless it's the golden slimes, then you have to guide them into a door that you didn't block, so any of the other 3. So that's why I like just blocking one door. Basically in the beginning it'll just show you where all the doors are, and then you can just see which one you're going to have to go to, whether it's the left or the right. And you place down these crystals that look like the boss crystals by using NPC chat on a platform, and then they'll bounce off of it basically, and then just go the other direction. And what I was saying with like the 2 minute, 4 minute, what you can do is you just bounce them into a corner over and over and over, and they'll bounce off of one crystal
Okay.
twice before it breaks. But if you just keep replacing it over and over, then you can basically stall them that way and just look at your timers. And once your timers are at like 10 to 15 seconds, then you just guide them all the way down into the right portal. And then once you go back up to finish the your setup and everything, and then the test will be right on time.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I think that's all my questions. I really
Mm-hmm.
appreciate all your help. It's really
Yeah,
been
no
helpful.
worries. Yeah, you just have to. I can tell you all about the mechanics and everything, but until you put them into practice and feel, because I read up on the slime as well, and then the first time I did it, I was like, this is fucking bullshit, because the rock was always going the wrong way. But then, you notice like, oh, if I hold this arrow key a little bit too long, it actually goes the other direction, so I have to be a little bit more careful with that. And then, but once you find that, it gets a lot easier, and then you can commit your burst, and then you're just like throwing rocks left, right, and center while you're going, and you're not even looking where they're landing, because you know exactly where they're gonna land because you've already hit them like 50 times, So it'll
Okay, yeah.
just become second nature. But in the beginning, it's a little bit of a. But I think it took me only 2 or 3 runs until I felt really, really comfortable with that boss.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I
brings
just
some
need to make
freezers.
sure that I'm like involved with the rock part, because
Yeah.
I know like it's really easy if you're in a party of 6 to just like let everybody else do the mechanics and you
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
like sit there and just do damage. So I kind of want to take the lead more and
Yeah.
take the initiative to be the person that jumps down and like looks for the portals to block, and the person that is at least involved in the mechanics to a certain extent.
Yeah. So you're not completely clueless where it's like, oh wow, when someone is like, wait, you're not soloing, you should be able to solo, and then you try and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how do I do any of this?
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to have failed a few times in a controlled environment before it's all you, basically.
Exactly. That's kind of the plan. And then once I get that on my Phantom, it'll be easier on my Bowmaster once I try to solo
Oh yeah, you'll be able to
slime.
switch over
Once I try
super
to solo.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be way easier.
The only thing, like I said, the only thing you have to care about is like, what is your burst cycle? Is it 2, 3, 4? And then based on that, you might have to stall a little bit. But other than that, you'll be fine.
I honestly think Bowmaster's burst might be like
It's
it
2.
might be 2, but
Yeah.
it seems like it might be to a certain extent. I think some of my skills come up before that, but actually no, I think it is 2
It's
actually.
2, but you have a 3, right? Like if you use Maple Goddess Blessing, that's a 3.
Yeah, that's a 3. That's true.
Yeah. So it'll depend on if you really want to rely on that, but otherwise you can just use it 2.
Yeah, I think 2 is fine. I don't want to like stall my entire burst just to wait for
Yeah.
one skill. I think
Yeah, I probably wouldn't
unless
either.
it's like
yeah.
a skill that's a game changer, but even then it's kind of just
Yeah,
delaying your
Goddess
damage.
Blessing is nice, but you most likely don't have it anywhere near max, so it's not going to be enough to warrant stalling your whole burst for. Definitely not.
Yeah, it's probably level 1.
Yeah,
It's not
I was
gonna
gonna
do
say it's
much
probably
for
like
me.
somewhere level 3 or lower, probably, which is pretty normal at that point. So no worries. All right. Well, I'll upload it to YouTube then, so you can watch it back.
Of course. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Good luck next Sunday, and yeah, if there's anything else, you know where to find me. So I'll see you around.
For sure. Take it easy.
All right. You too. Bye bye.
All right. See ya.
All right. So hopefully you guys picked up on 1 or 2 or 3 things that were very useful for you in this situation. And of course, if you're maining or somewhat maining multiple characters, resource management is definitely pretty tricky. So try to figure out, what do I want to be able to do with this character? Can they do it or can they not do it? And then look at your other characters and see, this character can do it. What am I missing? Is it mainly star forcing? Is it mainly potential? Is it a little bit flaming? Do I want to get a new weapon? Right? And try to see which character has a better opportunity to upgrade than which other character, if you like them equally. If there's one character you like way more than another one, then you want to give that character priority. But you don't necessarily have to brute force if you're playing multiple characters. Only if you're trying to really go past 250, even now, mainly if you're trying to go past 260, then you really want to start committing to a singular character. Same thing goes for where your nodes go, and whether you need to get drop rate, meso gear, that kind of stuff. So hopefully we addressed all of those appropriately. If you still have additional questions, let me know in the comments below, or find me live streaming on Twitch. So as always, if you want to win one of these sessions for free, make sure you leave a comment down in the descriptions saying that you would like to win. So make it obvious enough for me that it is a comment like that. And maybe include your Discord name so it'll be easy for me to contact you. In the past, I've contacted some people through YouTube and they have not reached out back to me, and then I had to find other people, and it was a whole lot of work. So please do that if you want to win. Other than that, you can also get one of these sessions if you are a subscriber over on Twitch and you watch my stream enough. You can buy them with the channel points that you get for free by watching. So that's another option. Or you can do it through direct donation like this one was. And then you have control of whether you want it to be private like this one was, or you can have it live on stream, or you can have a quick one if you don't have a lot of time until you need the session done. If you want a long session, short session, all the information like that is found in the description. And of course, all of the resources that we went over here, all of these can be found in the Twitch chat. You can simply use ! and then something. As you see, while I'm offline right now, there are some people in the chat who are using commands. If I scroll up, you probably see a whole bunch of commands here being used by people in my offline chat. And that's where all the information is for now. So you can definitely use those. Again, those are available for free for everyone. So yeah, I'll thank you for watching, and I'll see you either in the next video or live over at twitch.tv/Scardor. Thanks. Bye.